helping you find your happiness. The single most effective way to overcome negative thinking. Today we're going in depth to focus on a topic that affects all of us at some point in our lives: negative thinking. We've all been there. Those moments when our minds seem to spiral into a vortex of pessimism and self-doubt. But what if I told you there's a powerful technique that can help you break free from this cycle? It's actually the single most effective method to overcome negative thinking. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a practical tool to combat negative thoughts and transform your mindset. Let's start by acknowledging that negative thinking is a natural part of the human experience. Our brains are wired to focus on potential threats and problems. It's an evolutionary trait that's helped us survive. But in our modern world, this tendency can often do more harm than good. Let's consider a question. Have you ever noticed how your negative thoughts seem to gain momentum, like a snowball rolling down a hill? That's because our minds have a tendency to latch onto negative ideas and run with them. But here's the thing, and this is crucial. You're about to learn a method that can stop that snowball in its tracks and even reverse its course. The single most effective way to deal with negative thinking is cognitive restructuring. Now, don't let the fancy term intimidate you. Cognitive restructuring is simply the process of identifying and challenging your negative thoughts, then replacing them with more balanced, realistic ones. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview and you catch yourself thinking, "I'm going to mess this up. I never do well in interviews." This is a classic negative thought pattern. Here's how you'd apply cognitive restructuring. First, recognize the thought. Simply being aware that you're engaging in negative thinking is a huge step. Next, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or feelings? Have I really never done well in an interview? Chances are, you've had at least some successful interviews in the past. Finally, reframe the thought. A more balanced version might be, interviews can be challenging, but I've prepared well and have valuable skills to offer. I've succeeded in interviews before, and I can do it again. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds simple enough, but does it really work? Well, the science says yes. Numerous studies have shown the effectiveness of cognitive restructuring in reducing symptoms of anxiety and depression. For instance, a meta-analysis published in the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology found that cognitive therapy, which heavily relies on cognitive restructuring, was significantly effective in treating depression. But here's the key. Like any skill, it takes time and practice. It might feel awkward or unnatural at first, but with consistent effort, it can become second nature. Think of it as training your brain to be your ally rather than your adversary. Let's look at another example. Say you're learning a new skill, like playing the guitar, and you find yourself thinking, "I'm terrible at this. I'll never get better." The restructuring process might look like this. Recognize, I'm having a negative thought about my guitar playing abilities. Challenge, is it true that I'm terrible? Haven't I improved since I started? Is never a realistic assessment? Reframe. Learning a new skill takes time. I'm making progress even if it's slow. With continued practice, I'll keep improving. One powerful aspect of cognitive restructuring is that it doesn't ask you to ignore negative thoughts or replace them with unrealistic positivity. Instead, it encourages a more balanced, nuanced perspective. This makes it a sustainable, long-term strategy for managing negative thinking. One important aspect to consider is the role of emotions in our thought patterns. Often, our negative thoughts are fueled by strong emotions like fear, anger, or sadness. When you're practicing cognitive restructuring, it's crucial to acknowledge these emotions. You might say to yourself, "I'm feeling anxious right now, and that's influencing my thoughts." This acknowledgement can create a bit of distance between you and your thoughts, making it easier to challenge them. Now, You might be wondering how to implement this in your daily life. Here are a few practical tips. Start by simply noticing your thoughts. Set aside a few minutes each day to reflect on your thinking patterns. What kind of thoughts tend to dominate? When you catch a negative thought, write it down. The act of putting it on paper can help you view it more objectively. Practice challenging these thoughts. Ask yourself questions like, what evidence do I have for and against this thought? How would I view this situation if it were happening to a friend? What's a more balanced way to look at this? Keep a record of your reframed thoughts. Over time, you'll start to see patterns and improvements. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all negative thoughts. That's not realistic or even desirable. We're aiming for a more balanced thinking style that allows for both optimism and realism. It's worth noting that while cognitive restructuring is powerful, it's not a cure-all. If you're dealing with persistent negative thoughts that significantly impact your daily life, it's important to reach out to a health professional, counselor, or therapist. They can provide personalized strategies and support. As you practice cognitive restructuring, you might find it helpful to create what therapists call a coping card. This is a small, portable reminder of your restructuring strategies. On one side, you might list common negative thoughts you experience. On the other side, write down more balanced, realistic alternatives. Having this card with you can be a great support when you're in challenging situations. As we conclude, I want to emphasize the importance of self-compassion in this process. Be patient with yourself as you learn and practice these techniques. Changing thought patterns that may have been with you for years takes time and effort. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. Cognitive restructuring is a powerful tool, but it's just one part of a comprehensive approach to well-being. Combined with other strategies like regular exercise, good sleep habits, and maintaining social connections, it can significantly improve your quality of life and resilience in the face of challenges. I hope you've gained valuable insights and practical strategies to deal with negative thinking. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool, and with practice, you can learn to use it in ways that support your well-being and personal growth. Keep practicing, stay curious, and be kind to yourself along the way. Until next time, take care and keep growing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, share it with your friends so we can bring you more ideas. For more videos like this to help elevate your happiness, hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get notified of our next post. Thanks for watching.